Welcome to this training video. I'm going to give you kind of an exclusive look at a practice technique that I feel can really help improve your tooling in a quick hurry as you're learning here. So we're going to shorten that learning curve by being intentional with a little bit of practice and kind of getting down the foundation tools. So when I look at tooling, I think of, what is the fundamental of it? Now there's all kinds of options when it comes to tooling, right? But fundamentally, I feel there's three tools that really are the base foundation to any style of tooling. Now those tools are going to be our swivel knife, our bevel, and our shading, in which case for this kit, I've included the vertical line thumbprint, which is my go-to shading tool. Looking at these three tools, that's what's going to give you really, like I said, that base foundation. Whether, whoa, try to knock camera over here, whether we're looking at a floral pattern or one that doesn't have any floral, one that just has vine work in it, there's still going to be the knife cuts, the beveling, and the shading, both of those. Then you add your details of, a mule's foot here, your veiner around the edge, your flower center. That's going to be individual throughout the patterns, but those main foundation tools are in everything that you see. So looking at that, I want to look at a quick little practice run. Any little scrap of leather that you have or find, you can do this on. So there's never any waste in your shop. You're always working to better yourself. What we're going to look at is running lines left to right in a curve and right to left. Okay, when we do that with our knife, I want you starting that cut deep and then fade that cut off as you pull it. Now to fade that, we're just lightening the pressure, right? So we're starting that cut deep and fading to lighten that pressure. So the one way is going to be more comfortable to you than the other, meaning left to right or right to left. And that's natural for me. Right to left is a lot more comfortable. I can make those cuts really smooth. When I come left to right, I have to really work at that, and for me, that's my side that I struggle and I really have to make myself work at. So I want you to start by just making a couple cuts. Make sure you're going each direction, left to right, right to left. So we're going to make two cuts going each direction, a long one and a short one each way. Now let's switch to our bevel. Got a little bow in my leather there, so I'm going to straighten that up. All right, now when we're looking at our bevel, we want to get smooth, even lines, right? And again, we're practicing right to left, also left to right. It's good to make yourself go both directions. When I hit that tool down, I move that, I'm just barely moving it. I don't want to move a full tool length. That's where we get big choppy lines at, right? So we move it just a little bit, and picking that tool up and allowing it to move over. If we need to smooth up, we can. Now where we faded our line with our knife, listen to this. Listen to the light tapping. You're either hearing the light tapping or the sound of cars driving by. See how hot this mic is. But see, by lightening up my pressure with my mallet, I faded that line out. So that was right to left. If we're choppy, we can lightly go back and smooth that up. Now, left to right. Again, one way is going to be more comfortable for you than the other. Notice I'm anchoring my hand down here. That's helping two things. One, it's helping hold the leather in place, but two, it's helping steady that bevel within the line. If I have everything up in the air and I'm floating, it's easy to get off my line. Okay, so we're going to bevel that, and again, running light. For me, with beveling, same as cutting, my right to left is more comfortable. I think for me it's because I'm drawing that tool towards me. Here I'm starting light, but if I get extended out too far with my fingers without resetting my hand, it's easier to get off. So I have to remember just to go slow when I go left to right. And we'll bevel this line. Again, really try hard to learn to fade those lines. Okay, so we've cut, we've beveled. Now, with our shader, first I want you to try this, just up here where it's smooth at. We're going to tip that tool back. I'm going to hit it down once hard. And now I'm going to tip that tool slightly off to the side. And roll that around there. By having it tipped, I can tap that down. I'm softening that side edge so it can move around there. We're going to try hitting that down once. Now let's run this other way. Again, tip. Now I'm going to turn so I can see this edge here. And I want to just kind of draw a nice even line with that edge. Fading that around. Okay. Using that same principle, now let's put it within our lines here. So I'm going to turn this so I can see it. I'm going to start up here where our line started deep. Tip that tool and hit it. Now you see how close I am to the edge there? That's what I'm going to want to create, that little highlighted ridge. Now that's practicing for within your tooling. You can see this where it comes about. Oh, easier if I show you in the camera. See that little highlighted ridge on that outside edge? See on these flower petals, see that little highlighted ridge? That's what we're practicing for right here on this scrap leather. So once I've hit that down, now I'm going to tip that tool back a little bit. I'm squeezing that tool pretty good so I can keep control over it and it's not bouncing around on me. I'm going to fade this tool off as we go here. Okay, now if we're choppy at all, I can slowly work my way right back up that line and smooth that in there. Now here I came off of that line just a little bit at the end. Make sure that fades right down there with it. Okay, we're going to try this other one here. Hitting that tool down. You see I'm kind of rolling that tool as I come with that. Now it's coming from away from me, rolling this way. Now I'm going to start here on these cuts and roll back away. So we're starting up here. Here we'll start on our long one again. Now as I'm coming around, notice this. When I came, the lines on this tool, this is a parallel, or a vertical line, so they're running kind of parallel with where this stem is running to. So that came and then rolled this way. I did not roll and rotate that tool around here to where it's running perpendicular to that line. Kept it running with there. Okay, so when I come around here, I'm not going to roll this tool around that way. I'm not rotating it that way. I'm going to rotate it right down along here and keeping that in line with where that vein is running to. Fade that along there. Gotta be careful not to flatten it too much. We'll catch the back end of that tool down there. You can see on this one I flattened it almost too much and I got a little bit of that impression all the way down. So not the end of the world. I'm just going to come down. I want to fade that so I don't have that hard line down at the bottom there. Okay, so that's why we come down here. Okay, now I had to fade that one further than what I had really planned, but I wanted to get rid of that hard line down at the bottom there. Okay, here on this short one, do the same thing. Fades right along there. Notice that ring finger right at the bottom of that tool. That's going to really help with my control on that tool. There you have it. So just a quick little practice guide there that can help you as you're getting the hang of this tooling. And it doesn't matter how good you get, practice, routine, things like that can always help build your skills. So remember our foundation tools, the swivel knife, the bevel, and our shading, and that's what's going to really bring together all your patterns. You get those three down and can run those smooth, the rest of your tooling is going to begin to fall into place. Let me know what questions you guys have. I really appreciate you being a part of this exclusive training, and I hope this brings you value.